Hello, Charkie.
Hey, Cass.
Are you ready to unleash your inner demon?
No,
Okay, well, show's over, everybody.
I try to keep that shit bottled up.
Well, you keep it bottled up long enough, and you become a monster. You become the King of Crusher, Hakaiou, King of Crusher. That is. That was a weak segue on my part. That was. I should probably beat these things out. I should probably plot these intros out. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hakaiou King of Crusher playthrough. This is one of my favorite PlayStation games. Of course, it's on Bad Game Hall of Fame because it's not necessarily a game of high craft. We'll say, we'll concede, we'll admit. The controls in this one, little rough. But do you know what my favorite video game of all time is?
Oh, I do know this one. We love Katamari.
This is absolutely true. And this game hits a lot of those Katamari notes for me.
Upbeat, happy, smiley.
Not quite those notes. More mechanical notes. We'll get into it when we get into it. But first, a little background on this game. Released November 12th, 1997, Japan exclusive. For the PlayStation, came out on nothing else, was quickly forgotten about, was not really recognized in its time, has become something of a notable kusoge in the decades since. Bakage, some would even call it, a stupid game, a supremely stupid game, but one where the stupidity is played for a sort of comedy. This is developed and published by one Fab Communications, which had a very brief stint in the games industry. They're still a company that's around today. They are a production company. They do a lot of TV, music video production, movie production. They're also a talent management agency. And for a brief period between 1996 and the year 2000, they put out a handful of video games just to see what that market was like, to see if they could, establish themselves, get a foothold in it. The answer I got from that, the impression I get is that no, they could not. Hakaiou King of Crusher is probably their most infamous game, or possibly their most second infamous, because they also had hands on a 1996 PlayStation game by the name of Daiboken, St. Elmo's no Kiseki, also known as Great Adventure, St. Elmo's Fire, which is the most notorious JRPG for the Sega Saturn. Another Japan exclusive, but one that is quite infamous. It's like along the lines of like an Ancient Roman, which is a PS1 JRPG, Kusoge, Japan. The point I'm trying to make here is that Fab Communications only put out like 5 or 6 games in their history, in their very brief history as a game developer, and 2 of them are certified Kusoge, are certified like notorious infamous games. So it's a pretty good track record. I have another credit here for a Pre-Stage Inc. Moby Games will claim that they were a developer on this product. What that really amounts to, what that materially amounts to, is I think two people who worked for Pre-Stage happened to work on development of this game. So maybe in the credits they're credited as being on loan from, because this is a thing in the Japanese game industry, is that there's, in credits you'll see studios that are on loan, or employees that are on loan from one studio to another. We saw it in the Ring Terrors realm, where Scarab, the developers of Battle Monsters et al., contributed monster designs to the Ring Terrors realm. So they were credited as being employees of Scarab in the credits of that. But if Pre-Stage was in fact involved with this would be the second of 2 infamous Kusoges that they're involved with, because they developed a little 1996 PlayStation game published by Jalico called Slam Dragon, which is a rough fighting game for the PlayStation. So there is some pedigree here to these developers, but I think this is probably the most interesting of the games that either studio had a hand in. This is certainly one of the most ambition. Again, I really like this game. I think conceptually it's very neat. I think it does a lot of stuff right. I think it certainly does some stuff wrong. But more importantly than all that, it's just goofy as all get out. And I knew I had to have you along to find the humor in it, to help us find the humor in it, because I'm going to be very focused on the game and scoring and winning. Nothing to it but to do it, I say.
Let's go.
I'm going to get it up and running in a minute. I should note that we are playing a English translated version of this, which is to say that there are subtitles on the FMV cutscenes and a couple other like text boxes. This translation was provided by Snowy Aria, who has done several things for that we've played on stream, I believe. Certainly a lot of games that we intend to cover down the line. So thank you, Snowy Aria, as always, for being on top of this stuff. For translating these games that no one else would care to, that no one else would ever get around to, potentially. Seeing chat popping off. Is this the one where you smash the living crap out of your kitchen to start, asks Marxist Maximist. Yes! Yes, it is indeed. Frank Goth says, howdy, first time catching a stream. Congratulations. Welcome, and please enjoy this stream. Thank you for showing up to our stream.
You're saying Snowy Aria has done translations on previous games that we've done. I know they did do one for Kawaii Sashin.
Yes, that's right.
On the YouTube channel.
I think I need to boost the volume on this one a little bit. The soundtrack to this game especially is very eclectic, very interesting. I need to get the composer name up while this intro movie plays out. Kohei Tsuchiya, courtesy of Epic Records. So I believe they are a legitimate musician. I think they've probably played in some bands.
I hate babies!
Well, now that intro has told us everything we need to know, there's going to be another intro when we actually start the game proper. Let's take a look at some... Yeah, sure enough. I think I can do it on normal.
No controller options. Controller option, but no controller options.
We'll keep it at the default volume settings. We'll listen to the mix as it's intended.
Now wait, I actually am confused about why there's a controller option there where it's grayed out. Do you have to have like an analog controller plugged in?
I think if it recognized that you had an analog controller, you would have the option between, possibly. That would be my best guess. Or maybe you had some other alternative controller. I think if they had like
New Game Plus.
No, it's a good question. Maybe it's just part of the underlying jank of this game. Maybe it's just one of those things they forgot to do in this game, like designing functional controls.
You need a steering wheel, and then that'll unlock. Oh, okay, you want the steering wheel controls.
Well, they give us the time of day. They don't tell us what date this takes place, what year. I'm lost here. You know, I hate the summer season. All these bugs start coming out. All these demonic bugs.
Or winter or fall. I mean, it's the morning. We know that.
There's our hero.
The baby?
No, the salary man. Huge hands. He's got big old yowie hands, this man.
Big slappy. Big slappy. I'm angry about it. I'm happy about it. Angry about it. Angry.
That's a quick allergic reaction. That's pretty severe. Destroy. There's no need to keep your anger locked inside. Everything that hurts you, everything that traps you, destroy them. Turn your anger into chaos. When you've freed yourself from their shackles, you'll have the ultimate freedom. All right, that's our objective. Let's get freed. How do we free ourselves? By destroying fucking everything in sight. This game is a destruction simulator.
The shackles of this table. Shackles of my baby's carriage. Or crib, whatever. So shackles of having to know what words mean.
So the goal of every stage is to destroy a set amount of objects that populate the stage. The controls are rough. You can't turn on a dime. It's like, you might as well, like you joked about controlling with a steering wheel before, but your guy controls like a car. I'm just holding left right now. Now I'm holding
He feels
right.
like it feels like he should be holding his arms out like he's doing an airplane thing. Vroom.
Enough of that Videodrome shit there. So a big thing about the soundtrack is that you'll hear a lot of like chanting and like subliminal mess. Not really subliminal. I mean, they're very like forward in the mix. It's very clear what they're trying to do here. But yeah, that yellow meter is our health as well as our timer. It's a dopamine meter. And basically we need to keep that up. By destroying stuff, we increase that meter, keep it alive, keep ourselves alive. The red meter is how much stuff we need to destroy in order to qualify as clearing the stage. But, you know.
So you qualify, but the rest of this is just fun now.
No, absolutely. I mean, there is something about just walking around and busting the shit out of stuff. It's a great stress reliever. This game was marketed as a sort of stress reliever and promoted as such.
Oh, it turns out outside was fake. You broke the view outside.
Tough. There is like a hitbox in front of the windows. Like the curtains like have like collision on them. So yeah, I'm giving up on that window. I'm literally gonna run out of health before I make it to that window.
You can. I spare you this day, window.
But I'll be back. All right, so we have a jump, which is incredible. We have crouching. One of these buttons is crouch. Oh yeah, no, wait. Oh, we got our headbutt though, which pretty good attack. There's highs, there's lows. Punch, kick. It's all in the mind. Headbutt. I swear to God, there's a crouch button. Maybe you unlock the crouch button. This game will change at a certain point. This game comes in phases. This game changes things up on you, to say the least. Great camera here.
Does it change the camera angle on you? Okay, there we go.
Mercifully, yes. We won!
Did you win? Oh, yay. Arrgh.
So as I mentioned that Fab Communications' like major interest in this point was doing like the CG cutscenes and stuff. That's what they did for what was the game I mentioned earlier that they contributed to? Oh yeah, St. Elmo's Diebook in St. Elmo. That their contribution
you were free.
Was just yep, accomplished. You're free. This is originally in the game. This is not part of the translation. This is not a typo in the translation. This is just a typo present in the game. Natsume in the chat says, by the way, for those who haven't seen this game before, you are not prepared for the final stage. Yeah, no kidding. The pleasure of destruction. You cannot live without it. Destroy! There must be more things that you want to destroy, right?
This is just Gamer Simulator.
Those are walking around barefoot at this point, by the way.
Also, you don't even work here. Who are you?
Crush everything that traps you and makes you suffer. Don't hold back. Destroy.
I like this little guy.
Yeah, he's the angel on our shoulders, giving us great advice through and through. Well, time to put the fear of God in our boss.
Or someone's boss.
No, I think we are meant to be a salary man, and this is just us taking out our rage on the corporate machine, man. Headbutt this chair. Yeah! There we go. Fuck it all up. Phil asks why is he barefoot? Because he just left the house because he's not thinking straight. He's in a rage. He didn't have time to get dressed. One minute he was having his morning coffee, just sitting at home, and the next...
A little invisible bug told him, hey, like, destroy all that shackles you. And he's like, all right, boss, go destroy my entire house. Gotcha. Go to work and punch the shit out of the lockers. Alrighty.
It's impressive.
What's that? Drive my head into this iron thing as hard as possible. Whatever you say.
I do whatever the bugs tell me. This reminds me of Deep Cut, but people who follow the site, who read our articles, badgamehalloffame.com, will know. Bad Street Brawler on the NES, one of its previous versions, Street Hassle for the ZX Spectrum, where there is a ticking scroll at the bottom of the screen that is just like absolutely deranged messages, where it's just like, I hear the bugs inside my head crawling around telling me to kill, and it's like, and meanwhile you're beating up like old ladies on the street and stuff. Truly unhinged game, that one, but you know, sort of a spiritual predecessor to this, maybe. BadGameHallOfFame.com/bad-street-brawler for that article, by the way. It's mostly about the NES game, but it's also about the history of that developer and the previous iterations of that game. But enough about Bad Street Brawler. Oh, Marxist. One more thing on Bad Street Brawler. Don't trouble trouble until trouble troubles you. The famous catchphrase for that from that game. Thank you, Marxist Maximus. But there is like a message to this game. This game does have like some sort of thesis that it will prove or disprove. There are two endings to this game.
Thesis is destroy everything that which shackles you.
Well, that's what's being suggested, but is that really a viable option? Is that really like serving anyone besides ourselves?
Listen, I know all about media literacy. And I know enough about it to say that it sucks.
Yeah!
So I'm just going to assume that the message presented to me immediately is the message that I'm supposed to take away from it.
Yeah, the first thing that the first bug tells you in a video game is always like gospel advice. Oh, there's the cops. Now, bit of bad news. We can't do anything about cops. We can't hurt people in this game.
Oh, that's
They can barely hurt us, mercifully. I can't hurt that lady either. I wouldn't even try. But
for like several reasons, that's weird.
Yeah, the fact that he's just shooting us and we're just kind of shrugging it off.
Yeah, that you don't really have any recourse for that. That's just like, okay.
Well, I'll tell you, we will indirectly be killing people later. But they just don't want to show you, like, literally committing murder on screen, I would imagine. Tim Rod in chat saying, like, I cleaned out this guy's apartment today, and he had an entire CD rack of nothing but bad games. Man after my own heart, whoever that is.
Ah. That's how I sound too after a long day of work.
Yeah, I think, like, you know, I'm leaving stuff behind. I'm sure there's a way to 100% clear all these stages, but that's not really important. That doesn't factor into the ending. This is one of those games where it's one of my least favorite tropes in video games, which is you decide your ending in the very last minute of the game.
Oh, okay.
It makes more sense in this one. This one justifies it more than a lot of other games that I more complain about, but just so you know, the completion rate has nothing to factor into it. You don't got to worry about that. You can just, if you're someone who wants to play this game, which I do recommend giving this game a shot, don't worry about 100%ing everything. Just play as much as you want to play. Alright, it's been about 8 hours since we first started raging in the morning.
Glad I got that all out of my system. Well, back to home.
Wait, who did this to all my furniture? Why is my house a mess?
Dog, do you intend to shackle me?
So we don't got to worry about that the character model for too long, that first one. Now we have evolved. There's no turning back. Destroy. Keep destroying. So, yeah, this game...
You know, I think I'm good now. I got it all in my system. I'm done. I'm going back home to my loving wife.
Oh no, I'm a monster.
In bed. Oh, that's what she says. My wife.
I think I hate this monster. Yeah, so this game, you transform every few stages. You will evolve. This is a kaiju simulator. When I said that this game was like Katamari, I meant like the progression of it. Like one, like you're going through like stages and you're growing progressively bigger in each stage. is a very subtle trick. They really don't telegraph the scaling at all, clearly, but even as you grow into ever bigger monsters. But no, like, it's one of those things where, like, you know, the bigger you get, the bigger stuff you can destroy or roll up, as the case would be.
So how many Katamari likes would you say you've played? You know, obviously the ones that aren't Katamari.
There's Wonderful End of the World by, was it Deijoban Studios? The people who made it?
That's what I was going to ask you about.
I think there's, like, a couple other ones. What's that, Tornado Outbreak or whatever it's called?
Oh, I don't remember. Oh, you ever end up playing Munchables? I was telling you about that game. That's a good one.
Not as yet, but we did just fuck up that house, so I'm pretty pleased about that. Yeah. I'm pretty happy about that one.
But you should play Munchables on Wii sometime. It's good.
I think I've seen you play it. I think I should play it. I think I will play it one of these days.
It's got a real good soundtrack. I've used it for some of my stream intros before.
I will say this game can be a little tough in terms of, like, you see how little meter we filled out so far. These stages are only going to get bigger, they're only going to get more complex, and we're only going to need to destroy more and more. And figuring out which items are higher value than others, that's part of the trick of it. Some of these stages may take us a couple tries.
This level also seems kind of sparse so far in terms of things.
Don't worry, they'll get more dense. Right now, they're still warming us up. We just need... This is more like a, hey, get used to these controls, which are identical to the Sailorman controls, but, you know, people might be thrown off by the fact we transformed into something new and think that might significantly alter the controls. They will be significantly altered in time. Our attacks will change.
Right, so what are the blue things on your Mega Cops? Okay, got it.
Yep. Question asked and answered. Luckily, they are completely ineffective, much like real cops, but for a different reason. Hopefully there's another one of those, like, gas mains out here. Also, Elvis the Culture Advisor saying, oh, it's a Godzilla Generations. Like, funny you should mention that. I was on @wiki, just double-checking, seeing if there's any, like, notes I missed. @wiki being this, popular wiki for tracking, like, Kusoge. It's a good Japanese database of Kusoge titles with, like, you know, bits of trivia on them. And this game is very much compared to Godzilla Generations in that article.
I like how when you break those windows, or any windows, it seems that the entire complete window falls off to reveal the broken window underneath. So it's not that you're breaking a window, it's that you're removing one layer of window that is okay, and then showing a broken layer underneath of it. You have broken this window twice.
So I was in college at a time in my life. I was at film school for a while, and there was this kid who was just, like, really hacky, really bad. Yeah, he turned into a monster. And we had this, like, short film assignment, or web series assignment is what it was. Where we all had to make web series. You know what I'm getting to. Yeah,
but go on.
But he would always hype up the stunts he was gonna do in his all his things. And when he was doing the web series, he was pitching a professor like, oh yeah, I got these great stunts planned. The teacher's trying to be like, no, like, you don't gotta do stunts. I mean, this is just like, you know, this is more like, you know, learning the process. Like, yeah, but I'm gonna do some cool shit. we're gonna have a gun shootout. Which meant they brought airsoft guns to school, which was a great idea, you know, in the 2010s. But the reason I brought it up is because one of the stunts they pitched they were going to do was they're going to jump through a glass window. And the teacher heard this and just immediately is thinking, like, lawsuit, deniability, tell this kid, no, don't do that, absolutely don't do that, because, like, we're gonna be fucking held liable, you know, we're gonna be, like, it's gonna sound like we encouraged you to, like, do these stunts, and we don't want any part of that responsibility. And the kid's like, well, I already did it, is the thing. And when I heard that, my eyes lit up, because I so badly wanted to see this fucking short film. I so badly wanted to see these cool stunts. And we finally get to it, and the scene of them jumping through a window, what they really should have said was, they put, like, a sheet of paper in front of, like, a sliding glass door in place of the glass door, and, you know, could not be any more obviously paper. And so when the teacher saw that, they like just breathed a sigh of relief. I was disappointed. I want to see this kid accidentally kill himself on film. But
kills him on film and then bring it to class. Or go like, okay, here it is.
But you know,
people in chat are wondering about our guy's head situation right now. I think there's like fins.
I think they're horns.
Oh no, he has horns, but I think he's got like not fins, but like frills, like a bearded dragon thing going on. The red stuff.
I don't think we're actually destroying this house.
I think you are.
No.
Slowly.
No, I'm breaking this brick wall, but we might actually lose the stage. These bullets are actually hurting me. Not very much, but they are doing something. We're gonna have to pick up the pace on this. Oh, nope, there's a lose state.
Or now,
Return to human. Continue. If we continue, it's going to start from the top of the stage. Should I just rewind to a point where, like, we had some amount of health and try to find something else to destroy?
To be honest, I don't know where you went wrong, all things considered.
Well, let's find out. I know where we went wrong. I think it was just shortly after destroying that car, I let myself get trapped in this corner. I should have explored other avenues, other things to destroy. Yeah, that's as much rewind as I have, and that's more than enough, I think. Let's try going another way. Dodging these cops. Yeah, we can get inside of there. You can use that little mini-map in the top left to see, like, how much more stage is left in front of you, you know? Oh, we are getting shot to hell, though. Destroy these real quick, like. Get some of that health back. Now let's bust in. And then hopefully there'll be some stuff to destroy inside of here.
Your wife's new house.
Oh, we are golden. Yeah, we got this. It only takes a single kick to destroy him, too. Oh, this whole pyramid of them. Oh, there we go. That's the stuff.
Do you get new moves? Well, we'll see. But do you get new moves eventually besides kick and headbutt?
Yeah. Let's say as we transform, some of the monsters we become, some of the forms we inhabit, will have extended range of abilities. I will say, by the way, you know, we talked about not being able to attack the police officers, but boy howdy, I wish I could, you know, for a multitude of reasons, the least of which being that they do so much damage when they're shooting us, so that when they're concentrated firing on us, that it really can drain our health.
Yeah.
We're getting it back, though.
I mean, if you don't want to kill them, then, you know, you could just have them, like, knock out or something like that.
Yeah,
fall down and
they
get
could
up
have gotten
later.
away with that. I feel like they definitely could have gotten away with something like that. For whatever, like, thing was... Whatever held them back and showing that the cops getting killed. Oh, I just realized they actually can, like, damage the doors and stuff with their gunfire, so there is collateral damage being done.
Does that count towards your destruction meter?
I would
Did they break
assume
something?
so.
Weird pacifist run of this game where you just get the cops to destroy everything for you.
Can you read the story from Louis PSC, or PSC?
Right. They say, I remember a spider bit a kid in my school and they dropped the kid in pain outside of the school grounds, the other side of the crossroad, and tried to argue that it was not the school's fault.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Poor kid, obviously. I'm sure they did fine. I'm sure he would have said if they did turn out fine at the end of that, but ay chihuahua. Yeah, liability is a hell of a thing. We can probably just finish the stage at this point.
They follow up by saying, same school who the teacher put textile paint on the kids for theater.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not the right type of paint to use. It's almost like they sell, like, body paint specifically for such purposes. I'm hopping and skipping for joy as we reach the end of the stage. Oh! Next stage has a convenience store in it.
Need an energy drink.
Need a refresh.
Can you break a 20? No.
We only destroyed 43% of that stage.
I was thinking in advance of this stream that and I didn't because I figured it could have been a copyright thing, but I just wanted to get the first 2 notes of Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff as a soundboard clip. Yeah.
We would have been fine. Well, we can't kill cops, but we can certainly fuck up their cars.
No, that car was 2 days from retirement.
I'm just gonna headbang my way through this stuff. Yeah. And of course, nothing I can do to the cops there. Yep.
I mean, these cops are presumably some of the strongest things in the universe.
They should just make cops out of police cars. I mean,
or police cars out of cops.
Yeah, well, I fucked that up. I fuck everything up.
Making cops out of police. I mean, making cops out of police cars is the plot of RoboCop.
Yeah, I suppose you're right in a sense of the word. Let's destroy this sign. Now no one will know what this building is. Especially after we're done with it.
I'm headful since the scale of everything is really confusing.
Yeah, it's a little inconsistent, but, you know, ultimately, like, this ain't the most realistic game. I can forgive it. A little inconsistency.
I don't know, I've seen like CCTV footage from like gas stations. This looks about right. You see these clips uploaded on like Real TV or whatever that station is.
True TV or
True TV? Yeah, that's it.
There is something viscerally satisfying about this, by the way. Just seeing these real-world locations. I mean, the same way that it is in Katamari, right? Where, you know, it's played a little more, like, you know, reserved in Katamari. It's not necessarily, like, you know, like... I mean, yeah, you are displacing all that stuff. You are, like, destroying property, but somehow, you know, it's a lot more innocent about it. In this one, you know, it's a little more clear what we're doing here. It's a little more clear there's consequences here. I think we need to actually leave the store. I don't think we can take out the whole of the store. I think we just have to escape after we've sated our... I was going to say bloodlust, but it's not really bloodlust. We're not killing anyone yet.
Lust for Funyuns. Fun lust.
Short stage. I so wish there was like a stage select in this game. Oh, that's crusty.
JPEG. That's like an old school meme reaction image right there.
Yeah, I wish there was just a stage select you unlock. I don't believe there is, unless there's like something I'm completely forgetting about this game.
A stage select. I'm sorry, a stage select, but you get to choose what form you're in.
Oh, that'd be good too, if they really wanted to flesh this out. Notice that we're bigger now, by the way.
Yeah.
That we have grown is what that little cutscene was meant to indicate. I should also mention this is a relatively short game. We'll be done with this in like a breezy 1.5, 2 hours. But, I think it's well worth it to show off regardless. We're now destroying entire buildings.
You've actually just gone to the short part of town.
Oh, yes. This is actually the model town inside of the town. Like that one from Hot Fuzz.
Oddly thin building.
We jumped on top. I don't think we can actually destroy them any further than we're seeing it right now. I think someone in the chat compared this to Rampage, which, yeah, fair comparison. The original Destruction Simulator. Unless there's an even earlier one I'm neglecting. Again, great camera work here.
I feel like you gotta take this game at, like, meticulously to a certain degree. Like, I gotta scan everything on this row, because if I go any row further, I'll never see what was behind me.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely part of it, is approaching it in a sort of, like, system routing your way through these stages if you want to take the game seriously. Or I mean, even if you just want to win the game, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be more left to right.
Like, are you running against an invisible wall, or are you running against a house?
The answer is usually a house. You can't run all the way over there. That's invisible wall. We can tell from the bounds of the map. But, one of the complaints about this game that is raised is that, at a certain point, the methodical nature of it, the amount of destruction you have to do versus how slowly you do some of it could get a little tedious. I don't know. There's still, I don't care how many buildings I will. I'm the kind of person who, when I'm, playing a Legend of Zelda game, I'm destroying the pots every time I go into any room. When I play, damn, what's a game I play that has, props in it that I always feel compelled to destroy? I'm just the kind of person who is always destroying... When I play Dark Souls, I'm always rolling into stuff. I'm always rolling into every little bit of scenery. It never gets old for me, I just want to break shit. In the words of Fred Durst, give me something to break. How about your fucking face? No? Okay, then I'll settle for the nearest pots and pans. Nearest boxes of indiscriminate contents.
Oh, that must have been the uncut version of the song.
Yeah, Fred Durst, he really does get into, the wordsmithing. He really does, He really has thoughts, but they have to condense them for the records. His true vision as an artiste.
When I was a kid, I had to have been a kid, for sure, because this was when Limp Bizkit first started making music and shit. And I wanted their album for my birthday.
What, Chocolate Starfish?
I think it was my birthday. No, it would have been earlier than that. I don't remember which album. It was before Chocolate Starfish. I don't even think I was in high school yet. But I wanted one of their albums for my birthday. And I asked my folks, and they were like, well, okay. But they were going to... Well, my sister came to me a couple of days before my birthday, and she gave me a copy of the CD. And she said, look, our folks are going to get you the censored version. I wanted to give you the real version, okay?
Hell yes. That's a good sis. Yeah.
But she says, but when our parents give you the censored version on your birthday, you need to act surprised, okay? You need to act like you don't have the CD already. Like, all right. And I'm not sure how well I sold it.
That man runs a jazz club now. Fred Durst. God bless him. And his Twitter header is still Rei Ayanami from Neon Genesis Evangelion, who he collects figurines of. I love that man. I die for that man.
Does he still look like a disco dad these days?
I think so. I hope he also still plays Quake 3 Arena. I would love to play with him. That's bucket list for me, is to get a Dreamcast signed by Fred Durst, in the ones that he signed as part of that one promotional thing, and to play Quake 3 Arena with him. Specifically the Dreamcast version.
What was that thing a few years ago where Violent J ran on stage and tried to drop kick him and missed?
I don't know, but that sounds about right. That sounds pretty funny. The feud is still alive. The Limp Bizkit ICP feud. Juggalos versus Limpers. I don't know why I rewinded there. Press the wrong button on my controller. Let's band against the real enemy, Mudvayne. Also, there was a drink up 7 minutes ago that I forgot to. Whoopsies. We were so engrossed in conversation. I was so engrossed in my destruction. I was so busy trying to free myself. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Let's see if I can pop the top off of this while I kick this building into... Having all sorts of controller problems right now. But...
Okay. So I looked it up. So Violent J ran on stage while this was... When was this? 2018. He ran on stage while they were singing Faith off of their first album. And he tried to drop kick Fred Durst and missed, and then got dragged off by security. And then Fred Durst said, what a pussy, he couldn't even pull it off.
Look, I'm not down in ICP. I'm not a juggalo. I'm not a card-carrying juggalo, but, I'd fuck with him. But, yeah, big L for Violent J on that one. We just destroyed a tank, by the way, so we can destroy tanks, which are presumably manned by tank drivers. So I think that's our first kill.
tank drivers are not the police, though. You know.
Yeah, military is okay.
Yes. Violent J said he was. Wait, was it Violent J who?
You have to fact check this before we slander Violent J.
Where is he?
Before we have the Juggalos after us, before they spray Fago in our faces.
No, it was Shaggy Too Dope. I'm sorry.
Okay, so it's still one of the main two.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, if it was not Violent J, it was Shaggy Too Dope.
You know, I'm gonna say it. Violent J, I was skeptical at first because Violent J wouldn't have missed. He's got that wrestling knowledge. He did his... Well, Shaggy 2 Dope did too, but Shaggy 2 Dope was worse as a wrestler.
So, here's the thing. Violent J... Okay, I got confused because Violent J spoke on Shaggy's behalf after the fact. So, Violent J said Shaggy was just having fun. He said, well, you know, just wild style. Fred Durst is a friend of ours, you know what I mean? Things look so crazy when they get into the newswire. He obviously threw it as a fake thing. If he actually wanted to hit him, I don't think he would have thrown a pro wrestling dropkick.
Spoken like a true fucking carny wrestler. Matt guys pointing out they were both wrestlers. Yeah, I mentioned that. I said that Shaggy 2 Dope was the worst of the two. They're the one that fell off that bus.
I couldn't. I was really trying to remember because I was like, which one is the one who has the daughter who's a furry?
That's Violent.
Because I was like, it's the other one who tried to throw the dropkick, you know, and I just mixed the two up.
That's how you remember the members of the insane clown posse.
I can tell him by look. I can tell him by look for sure. But okay, Shaggy 2 Dope played Sheriff Sugarwolf.
Yes, in the feature film.
And Big Money Rustlers, yeah. And Violent J played Big Baby, right? That was his name?
Yes, correct. Shaggy 2 Dope was the protagonist. Violent J was the antagonist. I'm going to wrap this stage up.
Can't wait till October so I can watch that movie again.
Yeah. I'm going to take a second drink up because I left them waiting so long.
I'm gonna go get my drink in a little bit.
Only 38%. I'm drinking Cazadores tequila.
And they can sit through all these seconds.
They count down the time in real time. Alright, we're still in this form. So I think this might be the last stage in this form. Before we transform. Let's destroy these transformers. Oh, I just realized you can kick these into... It's almost like projectiles. Alright, check this out.
Oh, yeah.
Soccer ball. Pele.
Kobe. Hey, he probably knows how to kick a soccer ball.
I want to blow this whole gas station up. This is going to be so satisfying. All this crude oil just lying around in these barrels. Jump over that. A little hard to keep track of.
Johnny Backhead asks, when will Backyard Wrestling 2 be on the stream? That's the real question.
I'm not above it. We should do some wrestling games on stream. Yeah. We should do a wrestling theme night one of these nights.
God knows there's plenty of bad ones.
God knows. Oh, these tanks have got to go. I guess they were here to gas up. I guess they were here to refuel, but... We got a lot of health for destroying them, though, so... Or dopamine. Not as much for these barrels.
Just feeling kind of nice.
Fuck that up. Alright, let's take care of these tanks. They're crowding here, but...
This feels like an itch.io game, an itch.io game.
Yeah, this feels like something that would be developed on the indie level with, you know, probably slightly... I was going to say less impressive graphics, but I think we've come far enough that someone could probably...
No, you know, The thing is, if it was released nowadays, they would definitely make it look like this on purpose.
Yeah, it would be a retro throwback. How about that nightmare card, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm surprised that they're not going to charge for that. That's still going to be a free product. I think at this point they're well within their right to charge money for all that work. But good, I get to play it.
I thought this would be the end of the stage.
You'd think so.
We certainly have enough meter.
Huh.
All right, back to the drawing board. I wish I could turn the camera.
Video Game King is wondering if you can destroy the support beams on the gas station thing to bring it all down.
Tell you what, let's kill these tanks before they shoot me in the back, and then I'll go back and try to do a bit more damage.
Is there any stage where like the goal isn't get the meter full and get to the end, but rather like, hey, you need to destroy this specific thing? Like, you see how that's yellow?
I wonder if that is, in fact, the objective. I wonder if that does, in fact, mean destroy this before you move on. Mission critical objective.
I always say, for the folks at home, when I say see how that's yellow, I meant the mini-map, since I'm being unclear.
Support beam. Yeah, the yellow mark went away, so I think you were, in fact, correct. I think it was mandatory that we destroy that. There we go.
He destroyed enough, but goddamn, I was like, something doesn't feel right. I feel like I need to destroy the gas station. That'll satisfy.
Now I'm destruction.
Specifically shackled by gasoline. Really, if he just rode a bike, he could have avoided this whole fiasco. We've gone back in time.
Lovely water effects. All right, this is the stage. If this is the stage I think it is, we're in for a good time.
I've turned into a much more horrible monster.
Man, the worst monster of all.
Another rock? Oh. I was just hoping more cars would pass by and like more and more rocks would hit him in the head.
I think it's time for a new transformation.
This is like Altered Beast. You get a new like form for every stage. Next you'll turn into like the I was gonna say the dragon. You have to fight that nest full of eyeballs.
Destroy everything that brings you displeasure. The thrill from destruction will bring you the ultimate freedom. Destroy everything. Alright, and now we are a new form. We are a dragon. I think we'll be another form of dragon later, but diggity dog.
Yeah, I think we need to work on wrestling theme night in the document later. Yeah, just stand there, that'll do.
Yep, I mean the cars will crash into us. We're not getting anything for it. Yeah. Yeah, this is where the game opens up a little bit.
This is where the soundtrack comes into its own too.
Headbutt this fucking bridge.
Clown solo.
So our destruction is definitely... Oh, there goes a helicopter. Don't mind if I do.
Not getting much in terms of...
No, that is the scary part of this one.
What you need to find in this level is love. That's what will fill up your meter.
At least the helicopters aren't doing much. Let's try these poles here. These gotta be worth something. Maybe these trees. It'd be good if you could just, like, walk on certain things to destroy them.
Okay. Something worked. I don't know what.
The trees.
God, you're getting...
I got the helicopter. We're good. Maybe it is just percentage based, and every object counts as like, you know, like the same amount of percentage. I'm not fully sure on how the scoring system here works, truth be told.
I saw this picture. I think it was from Tumblr. It was someone posted a picture of like behind the scenes on the 1999 Godzilla movie, I think, and it was just some dude working on the model city, and he just like standing on like the model city streets, working like eye level with the model buildings, and someone commented saying like they should have just got that guy to fight Godzilla, and then someone responded to that with, I wouldn't fight Godzilla if I was that size for the same reason I wouldn't fight a Komodo dragon at my size.
Yeah, they're vicious critters. Godzillas and Komodo dragons.
Yeah.
I wish we had like fire breathing or something along those lines, but not as of yet.
I don't know what they want you to blow up in this level.
I think it's just a large stage. I think it's just we have a lot of work to do. Pro Striker 92 says, I guess the final boss of this game is a ripoff of Mothra or Gamera. No, not quite. I won't spoil it, but you have no fucking idea. There is no way to predict what the final boss of this game is until we get there.
Luis says, I wish they were Ace Combat or Comanche-like games that let you fight kaijus. You know, I haven't played too much more of that Earth Defense Force Ace Combat-like, so maybe eventually that happens. I doubt it, but maybe. I should play more of that game.
It's a good thing we take out like the helicopters and stuff that, you know, we might not get credit for it necessarily, but it's good to be able to defend ourselves. To some extent. Also, I will say, you know, if we have to complain about...
Magic Meow says the final boss would be a bunch of cops stacked on top of each other's shoulders to form their own kaiju, like fucking Agent Smith at the end of the Matrix game.
Remember when they do that in one of the Time Crisis games for the final stage? Oh, yeah. They build a human ladder.
What?
Yeah. Do you not remember that? I think it's 4 or 5. Maybe, no, it's probably 4.
And you have to fight it?
No, you have to climb up it while you're...
Oh.
But, you know, it's just a bunch of dudes stacked up top of each other that you climb up.
Okay, I was
it's
like,
similar,
I don't remember there being a
it's
boss.
not exactly the same thing, you're right, but... it's what it got me thinking about that, it got me remembering that. But yeah, I'm gonna say, just, you know, if we're talking about mechanical stuff, we're talking about, you know, complaints about the design, some of these hitboxes a little rough, some of these attacks, it's unclear, like, what the actual range on them is. Like, these headbutts have, like, a lot of verticality. I can hit that helicopter out of the air with the headbutt, which is good, because, you know, you can also jump into them, but there's not really, like, a jumping attack, per se. And I remember there's supposed to be a crouch button, but that clearly, like, ain't the case. I've tried every button. Yeah, no, I was just double-checking.
Elvis the Culture Advisor asks, there's an EDF Ace Combat like? Yeah, we played it on the Simple Series Euro trip. It's called, what's it called again?
Earth
Space
Defense
War
Global
Attack.
Defense. Oh, yes, yeah, okay, yes. I forgot that was EDF themed, yeah.
Yeah, it's Space War Attack, or also known as Simple 2000, The Great Space War.
That is one of the ones that I did want to do more looking into. That definitely struck my interest. I need to play the Ace Combat games, just proper Ace Combat. Mm-hmm. I've only played the first one, which I don't even think is called Ace Combat. The one that's on PS1 that also came out in arcades, whatever that one is called. Maybe it was a regional thing where it was called Ace Combat in Japan, but not elsewhere. But that's the only one I've played.
I'm looking at the Earth Defense Force wiki article on Space War Attack, and it says, aside from alien aircraft and ground weapons, enemies include Devil Butterfly, Nominon, isn't that what AJ Styles says? Nominon?
No, that's what the Muppets say. Nonominon.
Oh. Scorpius, Grand Dragon, and the Giant Shrimp. So yeah, it does sound like there are kaijus in that game.
God, you'd hope so. Yeah, there we go. That one before it became a threat.
Jürgen King says, I thought the simple 2000 Ace combat like was Demolition Girl. No.
Not quite. That one's an Attack of the 50-Foot Woman simulator. But there's I mean, I guess there's aliens involved in the plot to some extent. But
not real. I mean, you're not playing as the 50-foot woman in that game. You're playing as, like, the helicopters who are trying to measure her
fair point.
bust and waist size.
They getting the important scientific data, yeah. Oh, it's going to be hard to hit these helicopters out of the air, but at least I'm dodging their shots for now. Ay, ay, ay.
This song is starting to drive me a little crazy.
Well, guess what? We got several more stages with it, because the songs match up with different transformation phases, I believe. Time to do some deforestation. Oh. We're there.
Loop.
Yeah, the soundtrack would be better if these stages were maybe a little shorter. If the asks being placed on you. And, the other thing is that, if you were playing this on real hardware, if you weren't rewinding... I mean, this isn't the hardest thing in the world. We struggled on that one stage, but, we've been found ways to replenish our health. So we're ultimately not struggling too much. But if you were to fuck up, you'd be back to the beginning of the stage, so you can lose, like, 10 minutes of investment in it. Which I guess the same could be said of Katamari, but, it's more forgivable in that game because that's also way harder to lose in that game. And also,
some of those levels
joyous.
Some of those levels I remember are kind of a pain in the ass, but usually it's like 1 or 2 per game, and they're optional.
I think we got the power lines down. That means I think we got everything in that direction. Louise PSC says, if there was a version of this game on the PS2, I would love to have, like, radio chatter for everyone around you. Love that in Ace Combat. Yeah, that would be... I think this is a concept that should be done again. Obviously, Hakaiou King of Crusher, not necessarily the IP that people are clamoring to bring back. But, a game of this ilk. I always, say that, look to bad games for ideas for making modern games.
So, I know there are, like, kaiju games that are still being made out there. I will say half of them are extremely horny.
Yeah.
But
Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just...
No, but, I mean, know what you're getting into. I know there was that one... there was one kaiju game that I actually had on my wish list, but I couldn't remember what it was. There was another one that came out recently, though, that was like a... it was like Smash Brothers, but with kaiju, and they actually had like a Godzilla crossover as DLC.
Huh.
Giga Busters? Was that one? That one's called?
I'll take your word for it. I don't play video games. I don't keep up with this shit.
I'm gonna look it up while you destroy this.
Yeah, by all means. But I don't know. I think there is definitely an idea.
Giga Bash. That's what it was called, and they had DLC for Godzilla characters and for Ultraman characters.
But, I'm going to guess that the goal of that game isn't wanton destruction. It's destroying your opponents. Like I said, it's Smash Brothers, like... So the goal would be to destroy other monsters. And I think the goal of these games, if someone's making a kaiju simulator in the year of our Lord 2024 or beyond here, should be just fuck everything up. I mean, think about that image that goes around all the time of Godzilla on that SNES game, where the caption is like, Godzilla, go destroy the financial district, make everyone happy. You know that image?
Yeah.
I mean, like that. I think that speaks to something. I mean, just give us a game where he plays a giant monster, you just fuck up cities.
There was some other game, like I said, I think it's on my wish list somewhere that was that. And it was one of the not horny ones, but...
Well, I'm glad then. If there are games in this vein that maybe are a little more mechanically competent than this, I'd be interested in playing those. I like this game well enough that I would like to see it done with a higher degree of execution. More mechanical fluency, etc. Because it's a tough sell to sell people on a game like this. I mean, for one thing, it being uniquely Japanese, and that, if people wanted to go the real hardware route, that'd be importing not only a copy of this game, but, Japanese PS1, unless you had a jailbroken PS1. I don't know the state of PS1 jailbreaking or whatnot.
I don't know, are people able to do that these days? I don't know.
I'm sure they are. I'm absolutely sure that they're, like, modded PS1s.
Has anyone managed to pirate a PlayStation 1 game?
You know what I mean? I mean, in terms of, like, you know, like, region locking stuff is what I mean. In terms of, like, playing those games. I don't know about the specifics of that. I'm sure Johnny Baghead in the chat will have it.
Like, even back in the day, there were chips you could get to mod out your PlayStation, so...
The point being that, you know, like, there's going to be a barrier to entry for some people. You know, if not the barrier of, like, you know, physical media, people are just fine emulating it. There's going to be people who are just, like, you know, not thrilled about how long some of these stages are. Or who just get bored of the game before it really gets a chance to take off. Before you get to the real destruction, which we'll be getting to soon. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and end this stage. I'm just going to go for bare minimum. Unless there's something I feel really compelled to destroy. Something in our way that I just can't help but tear down. These electrical wires ain't it. I am going to get all these helicopters, though. Big-ass stage, big-ass environments for this game, for the PlayStation 1. Credit where credit's due. I mean, a lot of it is, like, you know, very sparse, obviously.
Oh, jeez. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh?
That uh-oh of Steam.
Oh.
Speaking of giant monsters, the window is now in 8K resolution.
Oh, great! Now you can really appreciate all those.
I couldn't see anything on either monitor.
Hopefully you can remedy that. Hopefully that's fixable.
Yeah, I fixed it. I got it.
Destroying some trees just to increase my dopamine. This monster doesn't just love destruction of, like, the urban infrastructure. They also like destroying Mother Nature, too. Nothing's off limits. Everything will be destroyed. We will set ourselves free. Oh, I think I'm going to have to destroy that. Whatever that is. Electrical grid. What's the name for these things? Oh, wait, no. That's just the end of the stage.
Nope. Yeah.
So we'll probably destroy that next stage. Yeah. That was 13 minutes on that stage, and we only destroyed 37% of the destroyable objects. Again, 100% in this game, a fool's notion.
Is it possible to 100% this game?
It's gotta be, right? Oh, this is gonna be a small stage, though, for comparison. You can tell because of the mini-map there, and also the fact that destroying one thing already gave us that much meter. I have to find out which attack is actually effective against these things. Oh, maybe I can just jump on them. Or maybe not. Well, in any case, we're destroying this grid. We're gonna knock power out over the whole region. And there is a yellow marker on it, so I think we need to be somewhat thorough in our destruction here.
You ever play any of the latter-day Rampage games?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Especially with, like, you know, the movie coming out, and I just imagine those games, those movie tie-in games, are probably pretty...
I don't think, except for mobile, because everything had a mobile game, I don't think there were any tie-ins to the
I think there was an arcade game.
You might be right.
There's probably a VR experience, just like Jumanji.
I was thinking more like the PS2 era.
No, I didn't play any of those. They had some
weird ones. They added like a whole bunch of new monsters. They had like, honestly, I think too many monsters.
No, variety is the spice of life.
Yeah, but I think the simplicity of like the 3 in the original game was fine.
The big 3?
Yeah.
Alright, how much more do I need to destroy these?
Something in the center, I guess.
No, I think the yellow dot just refers to this grid as a whole. I just can't tell if I'm destroying stuff because, I mean, there's supposed to be the particle effects for feedback, but we're also getting shot by the helicopters, so that's confusing the issue somewhat. This is just, like, not clear telegraphing. Or there's so much stuff going on, the camera's so zoomed in that it's impossible to discern. It's gotta be this. It's gotta be just, like... Alright, now that should be destroyed, I would assume. Okay, yeah, that was it. And the stage just ends. Leon is getting larger.
Don't zoom into my crotch! Ah!
Only 58%, so I guess we could have been more thorough in that closed-off stage. I guess we could have theoretically done more damage before we completed the objective. Oh boy. And yet more of this. At least the meter is filling up relatively quickly, so this must be shorter than the previous outdoor stage. I can destroy entire forests with a single kick now.
Alright, I'm looking up kaiju games on Giant Bomb. I think the game that was on my wish list was Giga Bash, so that's not really the... that's more Smash-like. How could we forget Skull Island Rise of Kong?
The world forgot. The Kong remembers.
Oh, there was Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher. You remember that came out?
No.
Like a couple years ago?
No, I have.
Yeah, it was Japan only, but it was Monster Rancher, but you raised like kaiju.
I mean, I got there from the name. Is Monster Rancher the one where you scan in like barcodes or like put CDs in and
CDs? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one that Suezo comes from. The little eyeball thing.
Remember Barcode Battlers?
I do remember that. Never had one. I think I wanted one.
I had one, and it made me want to go to the supermarket when I went shopping with my mom back in the day, because I wanted to see all the cool monsters, all the cool like characters I could get. And I didn't even think. I did the notion of cheating by just like figuring out like what numbers correspond to what never even crossed my mind. You can never make a game like that nowadays because people will just cheat at it immediately. People will just meta that shit out immediately.
There was Godzilla for the... Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna go on a longer tangent. You finish yours.
I was gonna say that if you were to try a game like that nowadays, it'd be like some mobile game, right, where it uses like QR codes or like uses like your camera to take photos of like barcodes or whatever. But then people will just
Godzilla Go.
People just immediately generate the most powerful stuff. They just go online being like, okay, so these numbers correspond to this, and we've created a god monster that can stop like everything. That'll throw everything into complete disarray. And here you are, and now there's no more challenge. So people talk a lot about like games you couldn't make nowadays, whether because of PC culture or whatever fucking complaining they do about that. But that's an example. That's an honestly got an example of a game you could not make today because the environment, because culture, because technology has changed so much.
So you were right about there being a Rampage arcade game, and there's also a Rampage AR game for like iPhones. That was for the movie. When I say Rampage arcade game, I meant for the movie.
Right.
Sorry. There's that Godzilla game for PS4 that you can't get anymore, and it's like ridiculously expensive if you want to get it.
I seem to remember that one. I think I know someone who owns that game because there's a huge Godzilla mark.
And I guess there was also this game called Terror of Hemosaurus that I've definitely seen on Steam before, but I don't know anything about it. It's just got the cover's just like a fat old dinosaur.
That sounds marketable. That sounds like something I would see on a shelf and just buy, apropos of nothing, no knowledge, going in.
Terror of looking it up.
Oh, that's a lot of helicopters. They're really swarming me right now.
Oh, this is totally a Rampage clone. Just modern day Rampage clone. 2D pixel graphics.
And
Very
just to be clear to people in chat, like when I joke about PC culture stuff, I'm obviously on the right side of this. I agree with you in chat. There's no concerns. There's no lingering worries. I think people who complain about that shit are fucking losers, just to be clear.
Now, what are your thoughts on Sweet Baby? Ray's barbecue sauce.
Well, I think it's pretty tasty, like all things considered. I wish they would stop trying to diversify the sauce aisle in the supermarket. I don't know where I'm going with that bit. I don't know where I'm going with that riff.
I had some Sweet Baby Ray's like secret sauce. It was like supposed to be a...
Your rage is unstoppable. Destroy it. Destroy my rage? No, destroy the dam.
Mellow out? Mellow out, you say? Okay. some like Sweet Baby Ray's like secret sauce. I think it was called. I think it was trying to be.
Oh, we're destroying the dam?
I don't know what it was trying to be. Like, because it didn't taste like a McDonald's secret sauce, and it didn't taste like a Cane's secret sauce or anything like that.
When the levee breaks, the monster's going to. I don't know.
The only reason I remember this is because I was cleaning out the fridge recently, and I found it in the back of the condiment shelf, and the secret part and the sauce part had separated like oil and water.
Ooh, that's tasty.
So yeah, I just threw that shit out.
Video Game King saying, this is probably the closest game has had to a boss fight. I was about to correct you and say, no, you are wrong. But then it said, so far, I should add. Yeah. Trust me. Those of you who stick around will be rewarded. Any minute now, this dam's gonna come tumbling down. I want to let that water wash over me. We gotta have worked up like pretty big sweat from all the stuff we've destroyed so far. You know, need a shower.
At what point do you think this dinosaur's like, you know what? I'm actually bored. I don't want to destroy this dam anymore. This is more work than I thought it was going to be.
Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Good things come to those who wait.
Oh wait, I can just jump over this dam. I can get wet that way. My bad. Just want to take a bath.
It's good that you at least get like some amount of feedback on when things are fully destroyed, like the seeing the water spurting out of it, like the one on the left. Like, yeah, at least it's clear enough in signposting that stuff. Most of the time, some objects more so than others.
But we're gonna have to get a whole bunch of little boys to stick their thumbs in those holes. Or else the whole town's fucked. God, I hope that reference like makes any sense to anyone.
I got it. You got me, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, right? Sweet release. Oh, the strange urge to go to the bathroom after that. It's perfect crush.
Dude, okay, well, I guess they did account for someone getting 100% in the level.
Finally, we freed the water. The poor prisoner. We've given them the ultimate
shackles
freedom.
That kept it bound, which is the dam. Actually, city seems fine, all things considered.
Not for long! There's something in the water. So you asked if we would unlock new moves. Destroy!
Too spicy.
Everything spreading before you in this wretched world. Crush it all! Destruction is the only way. You will become free. Destroy!
I asked for the fresh jalapenos on my hamburger. I forgot those were way more spicy.
Too spicy. New transformation. Alright, let's test the controls. Where's our fire breath? Oh, there is some slight camera control here. R1 brings it down a little further, L1 brings it up. I swear that wasn't in the previous stages. And also that we should be able to breathe fire here. But, I'm gonna have to figure out how.
Do you, like, not have a button bound or something?
No, every button corresponds to stuff, yeah. You know what? Just to be safe. Yeah, that should be good.
Alright.
I think there might just be some lies happening on the PSX data center page for this game, which lists the controls.
I looked back at chat. First thing I see is Video Game saying, no, they still fuck off screen. So I'm not going to even bother looking at context for what they were talking about. I'm just going to let that one ride.
There's another stage where we gotta go left to right or right to left, where you gotta do these things in rows before we move on to the next column. And I can imagine this stage
This just
being one
in,
where people tune out.
This just in, town being attacked by extremely meticulous monster.
I mean, they have an objective in mind, they have a set goal, they have a set percentage, a quota they have to fill. Just, clocking in it for another day at the Monster Factory,
No, we don't have copyright on that one.
Oh, shit, well. Look, there's nothing in our history to indicate we've ever said anything mean about the McElroys, so I'm sure they'll be okay with it.
I think I will get my drink now, though, so
By
I'll be
all
right
means,
back.
yeah, this is a good time for it. I'll just be stomping. Ay, ay, ay. Like, this is great for people who have, like, compulsion to, like, to be, like, thorough in this sort of way, to find, to create patterns, to create roots and stuff. There's something to it. Again, though, the prospect of doing, like, 100% run of this game, he couldn't pay me. I love this game, and you couldn't pay me to do that, to commit that much time to it. I mean, maybe if you had, like, a cheat to have infinite energy and just infinite time, and you just wanted, like, to shut your brain off, and, you didn't have, like, all the stages before and afterwards, you just loaded it into a stage like this with the goal in mind of destroying everything. That'd be a way to do it. Oh, that said, I am excited to get to that bridge, though. I have a good feeling about this. But, good things come to those who wait. Patience is a virtue. There we go! Oh, yes! See? That immediately makes everything worth it. All the time, all the investment, all those other stages, building up to that. Taking out a bridge and watching all the cars continue to drive off like it's some bridge simulator, bridge construction simulator game on Steam or whatever. There it is. That's what keeps us in the game, folks. It's the little things in life. You have to savor, you have to cherish. Alright, so the swipe only does like half damage. The stomp does full damage. Headbutt does full damage. So there is, like, a science to this. There are values of damage. It's all not just, like, attack, period. I think I'm going to stick with the stomp. It may be a little slower than some, but it's definitely the most thorough. It gets the job done in one. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't need to worry about, like, double tapping. We are low on health, though, so... Might be one where I just need to get the required percentage and then quickly move on to the end of the stage. Oh, they're sending in attack helicopters now. Frank Gothic in chat saying, went to go get a drink, came back to cast Moaning in Delight. What a game. Moaning in Delight. I haven't heard it referred to in that way. I mean, you're not wrong, I suppose. I mean, guilty as charged, but... Hopefully this tanks will refill us a little bit. And yes, you can just walk over them. No, it actually does damage to us. Considering the fact that they're exploding underneath us. Oh, this might be a tricky one. We might need to actually, like, strategize a little bit here. What if I just went forward? I might be able to get enough. In worst case scenario, we haven't spent too much time on this stage. I would just skip the first part, or I would just cut a straight line. I wouldn't be so thorough during the beginning of the stage. That's probably the way to efficiently do this.
You are still on this level, aren't you?
This hasn't been super long. Oh, we're gonna destroy more bridges. No, I ran out of energy just before I got a chance to. You know what?
Oh.
Here we go. Watch this.
There you go. Still gonna die.
Nope, not if I have anything to say about. No.
No.
All right. Well, we'll have to start that one from the top then.
All right. So new drink for the stream today.
Do share.
At least new to me. It's the Monster Juice Mango Loco.
I've had this. I didn't love it as much as
you,
other monster flavors I've had in recent months.
I can tell you, just from opening this, the smell is extremely intense. Like, it is just sitting in the can. Kind of smells like and piss. So, see if it tastes like that. Not that I would know.
Good clarification. Keep them off the trail. I like their grape. Their ultraviolet, they call it, but it's clear just like a grape flavor.
I hate grape.
I love a grape soda. I love.
Let me change that. I hate artificial grape.
I love artificial
like a grape soda. Real grapes, I love them.
I hate real grapes. I hate real fruit. I can only have it in carbonated beverage form.
This drink isn't as bad as it smells, but it's not great. And unfortunately, I have like 3 more of these because I bought a 12-pack variety of the juice. Well, I had way too many of those tea ones. I had to have something else, and like all the other ones are sugar-free, and I hate that fake sugar taste, the artificial sweetener. Like the only one I kind of
care as much, but I get it for sure.
The only artificial sweetener energy drink I'm okay with is Ghost, because the flavors are just like so good that I can kind of forgive the artificial sweetener flavor.
I'm trying a different route on this stage, and hopefully it'll pay off dividends.
No, give me real sugar in my drinks, and by real sugar I mean high fructose corn syrup. Because I know there's not real sugar in these drinks.
Yeah.
Do you remember that period of time where like there was pro high fructose corn syrup propaganda commercials on television?
Yeah, the lobbyist group got in the ears of whoever, and they got some fun money for a little while that they had fun with.
Yeah, they were like these commercials that were like, you know, oh, I've heard about high fructose corn syrup. Like, oh, what did you hear? That it's made of all natural corn, which is good for you and healthy? Is that what you heard?
That is some truly devious shit. I love. I mean, I don't love it. It's actually dystopian that they're advertising. You know, it's healthy because it's made of corn, and just like. But you know, on the other hand, it is great that, you know, people are gullible enough to fall for that. I mean, it's not great. Again, dystopian, horrible, but slightly amusing to me. Someone who considers myself above those people, clearly, even though I'm just as susceptible to different things in different ways, so.
There was this commercial on TV the other day. Like, I don't watch TV anymore, but it's always, like, on downstairs, so I just catch bits and pieces of things. And there was this commercial that just started with, like, someone saying, like, this is a real person looking for help with a real problem. And I didn't catch any of the rest of the commercial. I just heard that part. And I was just like, in my head, it was just like the AI TikTok lady voice going, I need more bees to fit in my mouth.
I have a real problem. Not enough bees. I think it was more of a Hillary voice coming out of me. Pokemon, go to the polls, than it was like the TikTok AI voice. I can't do the AI voices. They're so specific in their cadence. But I have no nuance for it. I have no ear or throat for impressions.
Today is Monday, which means Gandalf gets to lick a graham cracker.
That's pretty good. To my untrained ear, that's pretty good.
His favorite activity. That is the voice of Ghostface, by the way.
Oh my god, you're right. I didn't even flag that. I didn't even connect those two.
That is straight up an AI version of the Ghostface voice, aka Bates from
Clock Tower 2: The Struggle Within.
Yeah.
How do you feel about doing that game for Halloween this year?
You want to play it?
Yeah, I'll do it. I wrote the article on it. badgamehallofame.com/clock-tower-2-the-struggle-within. Or something like that, probably. I don't remember the exact URL to that one. But I did write about it. I think that was the article that got me on the radar of Stop Skeletons from Fighting. That's the one, because Derek did a video about that before he was like officially Stop Skeletons from Fighting. It was like one of the other iterations of the channel, like post-Happy Video Game Nerd, maybe. And then they did a playthrough of that game. It's like a full like Let's Play of that game, and I thought that was pretty neat. And I linked them to that article, and they're like, hey, that's a crazy amount of research on this game that is a piece of shit. And I'm just like, yeah, well, that's kind of my shtick. Oh my god, we're gonna run out of energy again. Ay. Okay. I'm gonna have to figure this out. We're so close. I don't want to give this one up. Okay. Run like our life depends on it, because it does. No! Wait a minute, I have an idea. Okay, let's start from here. Stomp on these tanks. Kick that.
Something shreds your health over there.
These are restoring just enough of my health that if I take like a step or two and then destroy, this might keep me alive.
Yeah, like it used to be like the tanks gave you a good bit of health. Now it's just the buildings.
Yeah.
Yep. I think this is a start over. Look how much level there's left.
No, we're so close. Look, we're at the Eiffel Tower. We can do this. The goal is in sight.
Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, right there.
When did you get here? Like, that's not the Tokyo Tower, right? It's the Eiffel Tower?
I mean, it's probably the Tokyo Tower. But I see any tower that looks like that, I'm just like, Paris? It's Tokyo Tower, says Video Game King.
Yeah.
We're
the only
so
reason
close. This is so brutal.
There's a reason I'm confused. But yeah, it's probably the Tokyo Tower.
Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, sorry for the egregious rewinding, but I don't want to do this entire stage for a third time.
I have to do this entire stage for a third time.
God damn, yo.
You're getting wrecked.
This is so tough. They clearly have like such like a specific path in mind for you. Imagine 100%ing this stage. Impossible. No. Okay, I missed that tower. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, you know what? I jumped through those. Come on, make it. You can do this. No. Bunny hop. Oh my god.
You know what was a good get progressively bigger and destroy things game? Was About a Blob.
I've never heard of that.
That was by I want to say Drinkbox Studios.
I don't want to do this fucking stage over again. I like this game, and this is enough is a fucking enough here.
Yeah, Tales from Space About a Blob. And there was also another game called Tales from Space Mutant Blobs Attack. But you started as like a little blob in a lab, and you have to... It's a puzzle platformer kind of game, but you absorb things. You have to get to like a certain size by the end of the stage, and then eventually you're like rolling up like neighborhoods and cities and stuff. I'm not sure how much you would like it because of its dependence on like platforming kind of stuff, but I thought it was a good game.
That sounds like a no to me. Just from the word platforming. This is my hell, though. You know what? Guess what?
Yeah, I told you. You're just gonna need to...
This is fucking brutal. I would not blame people who tried to play this game, who are sold on the promises of this game, and give up on this stage. Because this one is, you know, the destruction has gotten bigger. You know, the scale has only continued to increase. You know, the destruction itself is still satisfying, but ultimately, like, without a rewinding, or even with rewinding, just brutal. Maybe those are worth something.
Maybe that's part of the message of this game. That, you know, destruction is difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you said this game had a message.
It does. It cements it more in the final stages. I've done this before, by the way. Like, to be clear, like, I have beat this game before. Yeah. Probably one of, like, a small handful of people who have actually bothered to beat this game. At least, like, you know, in America. I'm sure there was at least a non-zero number of people in Japan, but...
There's always, like, a hesitance I have about, like, thinking of games to play for Bad Game Hall of Fame or CNC. When I look at, like, PlayStation games I think are cool, because, man, sometimes PlayStation 1 games can get bullshit hard.
They're rarely, if ever, harder than, like, 8-bit games. I feel like those are, like...
Okay, alright. I played through Kawaii Sashin on this stream. Like, there was no way I was beating that game if I didn't do the thing where I turned the game speed down to, like, 25%.
Maybe I'm just built different. No, probably not. You're better than me when it comes to that sort of stuff, when it comes to, like, pressing buttons in sequence. QTEs, rhythm games, at all.
Yeah. It was like the, specifically the attacks on the final boss. You had, like, I don't know, maybe 2 frames to react to the button press.
Brain perfect
yeah,
timing.
I feel like PS2 is around the time games started to be
accessible
easier,
to some extent.
More, easier to finish. So yeah, like 6th generation. I feel like 5th gen they were still making games that were like, yeah, we don't. I mean, you don't have to beat this. We don't expect you to.
Trying to jump these missiles, trying to preserve as much of my health as possible.
Yeah, I feel like that's a weird thing, specifically with, like, I'm gonna go on a Dark Souls tangent here, as I am wont to do. The idea that, like, people are saying, like, oh, Dark Souls is, like, real difficulty.
No.
Like, you know, the FromSoft games are like, no, they're not. I mean, I can see someone having difficulty with them, but it's like, I still see people saying, like, oh yeah, these games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still see people say that, like, oh yeah, the Souls games and Bloodborne and all that are, like, you know, they're unforgiving. You know, they don't hold your hand. Like, no, they totally.
No, they give
the
you a lot of
game makes
acquiescences.
so many concessions.
Yeah. The game also
like,
wants you to break it to a certain extent, you know?
Yeah, it is not like the 16-bit and 32-bit era where some of those games are like, no, fuck you. Hell, it's not like the FromSoft games of that era, like your Kingsfield and your older Armored Core,
which were just completely arcane, yeah.
Yeah.
I see the end of the stage. We still don't have our meter filled out, but at least, like, it's from here, it's a straight shot. We're within walking distance of it. Yeah, I probably should have just restarted the stage, like, way earlier. I should have stopped trying at a certain point. That said, boy howdy, they are hitting heavy. They are pulling out every stop to stop me from destroying Tokyo Tower. Almost like they give a shit about, almost like it's a national monument or something.
Let's see. Let me try to catch up on chat a little bit. Frank Gothic says, I feel like I could understand finished PS2 games more than PS1 or Sega Saturn games. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at as well. To a certain degree, I think they're, you know, they let off in the difficulty a bit, but also they were more accessible, like Cass was saying.
I think we fucked up. I think I need to actually backtrack to destroy more stuff. This is the danger of this stage, of this game. Come on. Bare minimum. That's all I need.
Johnny Baggett said, PS1 was still the era where some devs... Whoops, as it scrolled off. PS1 was still the era where some devs were pushing playtime up and making them harder to beat. Capcom USA especially loved to do that to fight game rentals. I remember hearing a thing, I think this is from a Jerry in Paris video, where what was it? Japanese game developers were making games harder in America to combat.
Oh my god!
Japanese game developers were making games harder for Americans to combat, like game rentals and all that. But that led to a perception in Japan that American gamers liked harder games, so that led to harder games for America regardless.
How long was that playthrough? 5 minutes. So cumulatively, we can say that we spent like 15, 20 minutes on that stage. Ay, ay, ay. I almost want to hit the year winner button after that. Oh, God. And yet more. This is probably a shorter stage. This is probably like Destroy Tokyo. Yeah, look at how much the meter went up just from destroying a singular thing. Yeah, this is a target stage.
People are also talking about the difficulty of roguelikes and things like Unreal World. Like games that really do not hold your hand.
You finally made it, friends.
Thank you, Vega Baby, for the raid.
Thanks for the raid,
for tuning in to Hakaiou, King of Crusher. We're about to annihilate Tokyo Tower. Don't mind us. Come on, fill that dopamine up. I'm gonna have to headbutt that helicopter real quick. He's gonna give me a migraine. All the bullets are shooting to my head.
That doesn't look like Tokyo Tower. Like, Tokyo Tower is, like, more red, isn't it?
Well, you know, the sky is red, so they need to differentiate it in the background, you know? The game is certainly getting harder.
Vega Baby says, I love Hakaiou. Glad to see you playing it.
I'll just restart the stage from the top. Yeah. Brutal, though.
It's been really anticlimactic if, like, the Godzilla movies ended real quick when they just shot it a bunch and that worked.
Yep. It turned out the bullets did work. The military is effective. Kind of runs counter to the thesis of the films, but, you know, we'll allow it. We destroy the monster.
What? Was the Okay. I barely remember the American Godzilla movie.
Yeah, most people don't. We've mentioned it twice in the stream so far, haven't we?
Oh. Yeah, I mean, you know, kaiju stuff. But, like, that movie wasn't pro-military, was it?
It made fun of the military in the way that, you know, like, they're incompetent, they're bumbling, but...
I know it was anti-Roger Ebert.
Yeah. It was pro P. Diddy. He did the song for that movie. And, you know... Hindsight 2020.
Didn't Jamiroquai... Was that Jamiroquai song for that movie?
What,
or was it just licensed? Yeah, Deeper Underground. That was in Godzilla. It was on the, like, the Godzilla soundtrack or whatever. In the day where they just got a bunch of songs and said, like, yeah, this
like,
is
you know,
for
music
Godzilla.
inspired by...
Yeah.
Or, you know...
Like, Deep Underground's a real good song. I don't remember if that was, like, made for the movie or if that was a song that he just had and he was like, yeah, you want to put this on the Godzilla soundtrack? You want me to do a music
I won't
video
say no
with
to
like
money.
Godzilla
Yeah,
footage?
yeah,
Sure, yeah.
No, yeah, it's... I mean, if you want to pay me, if you want to pay my label, then yeah, no, absolutely. It's... I don't remember it appearing in the movie, but I also don't remember much of that movie, as it turns out. What I mostly remember is going to a store in 1998 that had, like, a display, like, of glasses, of Godzilla-themed glasses for sale that let you see in green and yellow to tie into the movie, and thinking those glasses sucked.
How Do I Even Exist says, Deep Underground was a Godzilla purpose-made song. Okay. It is one of my favorite Jamiroquai songs, so... Something good came out of that movie.
Oh my god! I'm not restarting the stage. I'm just gonna figure out what's hurting me. And deal with that head on. There we go. No, there's still another helicopter. Those missiles are bigger than the fucking helicopter they're coming out of. I just realized. Okay, rewind. Okay.
Yeah, that was more easy.
What else is trying to kill me? There we go. No!
Finally, I can die. Ugh. Now what? You finished.
There we go.
There we are. Hey, over till the fat dragon sings.
Now we're free. 36%. I think it's time for another revolution.
Vega
No,
Baby
no,
says,
not
I
yet.
remember Taco.
Shit.
Vega Baby says, I remember Taco Bell having a terrible custom Godzilla cup you could get. Looked like a nightmare to drink out of. I'm gonna look this up.
Oh, I think I know which one. Yeah, it's coming back to me. Oh, look at that idle billboard.
Like most recent point of reference being like the Dune popcorn bucket.
Well, that one's not for drinking or eating popcorn out of, for that matter.
Well, I mean, depends on how much butter you put in your popcorn. You have those like self-serving things where they let you put it in.
So there's more scenic buildings
fuck.
here.
Okay.
Are you looking at the cup right now, the Godzilla cup?
Yeah. Let me
Trying to figure out how to describe this, articulate it.
I'm gonna post it. It's like a cozy for your cup that is Godzilla, like hugging it.
Godzilla, keep my drink warm or cold, I guess.
He's like, I drink. He's like very protective of it.
Well, I'm glad to know we got Godzilla on our side, on the
And
side of
You
beverages.
can buy it on eBay for $15.
What a steal.
New sealed. I don't know sealed in what. It doesn't look sealed in this photo.
I have a feeling this is going to be another rough stage. It's going to be another long stage, that's for goddamn sure. I swear there are some more stages after this that are
Hey, you
a
know
little
when
more
someone,
interesting.
you know when someone says something like, "Hey, this drink is starting to grow on me." What's the opposite of that?
It's starting to shrink on me, I would think.
Yeah, this mango logo is starting to shrink on me. It's not good. Again, I have 3 more of these I'm gonna have to get through.
How much do you spend on Monster Energy? I get 2 for $5 at the gas station I go to, where I get all my food at this point.
I get a dozen for 20.
Okay.
Actually, well, no, it's still 20. I stopped buying Red Bull by the dozen because, first of all, because they stopped carrying the flavor that I like. But it used to be you get like a dozen Red Bulls for like $18, and now it is $22.
We're underwater, by the way. Destroying this bridge. Oh!
At least it doesn't
Am
hurt
I
you.
sinking in? Or no, I see what happened. There's like there was a dip there. You know, good games are constantly innovating.
Yeah, adding water.
Pro Striker
You know,
92, can you read their comment real quick while I...
Said the game started very well. Just the latest stage got kind of repetitive.
Yeah, I mean, again, that is like the major problem with that game. Besides the controls being inadequate and not having, like, you know, we should be breathing fire. We saw this monster breathe fire. We will eventually breathe fire. But not in this transformation, I guess. Unless there's like some button combo or something that I'm just... Well, I tried a bunch of button combos and nothing worked. But, there is still another transformation to go. Johnny Baggett saying getting new moves per transformation would have gone a long way. Yeah. Like, if we can put on, like, this is one of those ones where it's very easy to see, just like anyone can kind of tell, like, what this game needs, what would have, like, improved it. Louise PSC saying a 360-degree tailspin. Yeah, that would fucking rule. it's a shame because it's so close to hitting the mark that there's just such easy tweaks that could have been done. I mean, like I say easy, like I knew like what situation the programmers were in, what the circumstances of development of this game were. But, you know, theoretically easy. Like, you know, adding a move shouldn't be like the biggest ask in the world, right? Adding an attack or 2 or 3. They figured out how to program in these basic attacks. Figure out the collision, all that stuff. Yeah, what else would I change here? Let make it so you can kill the cops in the first few stages, I guess. Not that it's ultimately materially like that big a deal in those stages. Like, you can get through those relatively easily. And I wouldn't say, like, you know, to even like lower the amount of enemies here, even though it can be a little overwhelming. I mean, part of, like, you know, part and parcels of the kaiju experience is being constantly attacked by, like, all the military stuff. Maybe if they were just a little less affected. Maybe if they just drained a little less health. Or if you had more means. I guess if you had more attacks, that would really solve the problem. If you had, like, a fire breathe, or, like Frank Gothic saying, a charge attack, that you can, like, just tackle, run your way through buildings or something. Right? That would work.
Mm-hmm. Something to get you around faster.
I'm gonna take a quick swim. Hopefully dodge a few attacks and... Oh boy. What's next stage? Where are we? What are we doing here? Well, we're free at the very least, so... Still another stage with this.
Okay, I don't think we're... Unless that... What is that building?
I mean, what it looks like is the fucking, you know, it's Capitol Hill or the White House or what have you, but
Yeah.
It's clearly not. Like, I'm not going to bury the lead any longer. We go to New York in this game, so we may well be world traveling at this point.
Yeah. That's why I said I was confused about if it was Tokyo Tower or not, because, like, I know that we go to other places.
I want to get that blimp. Hindenburg 2.0, bitch. Alright. Let's deal with these helicopters, then we can... Or these tanks, too, maybe. Yeah, I think this is the National Diet building, is what this is supposed to be. Yeah, the writing on it does appear to be, like, in Japanese, so we're still in Japan. We're still in Tokyo, presumably, for the time being. Our destruction level is still very low. Ay-yi-yi! Yeah, this is where we really desperately need more attacks. Like fire breathing, for example, or just like a 360-degree tail whip, or just something, anything. Rather than just headbutting and kicking ad infinitum. And also, you know, a better camera would also go a long way, probably. Being able to move it more than just up and down. This only does so much for us.
Semi-apropos of nothing. Itch.io needs a better tag system, I think.
Itch.io needs a lot of things. Look, I support Itch.io, I support indie devs, obviously, but boy howdy, for that being like the go-to site for uploading, for hosting indie games and the like, they could certainly benefit from some major redesign stuff, from some like searchability, from it being a little better to navigate than Steam is. I mean, we complain so much about like navigating Steam and it being like a cesspool of stuff that's impossible to sort through, but Itch.io ain't much better.
Because I'm trying to look up like games like this there, because we were talking about like this being a game that could exist like in the indie space more easily, and if you look up like kaiju, it's just games that have kaiju in the title. Like it would be so much easier if you could just tag your game as like saying, hey, hashtag kaiju. And it's like, hey, if you want someone to find this game where you play as a giant monster, then
I guess it's mostly just like title searching at that point, and you guys have to hopefully put it in the title.
There is a tag called Destruction, which gives some of that. Like, granted, top result is cat lateral damage.
Yeah. game which I did
Not
not
top
love. Yeah.
$10 damage in VR though. Hell of a way to get motion sick.
All right, this has to be the last stage where we play in this form.
Sounds like it.
We're free. I'm gonna save just to be safe. Because it occurred to me I haven't saved it all so far. Yeah, this is okay. The save icons do, by the way, I think reflect like what stage you're in, what stage of transformation you're in, which is a cute touch.
Oh, this is kind of funny. Looking. Nope, I'll get that in a sec.
USA, New York.
There we go.
So did I mention this game came out in 1997? Or 1998, I should say.
Oh. They should have known.
I don't think that's the sound that planes, that fighter jets make.
They make
Not
like
exactly.
the sonic. They make the sonic ring collect noise like gas station cash registers.
Your freedom draws near. Keep crushing. Everything the humans have created, destroy. Why were we destroying trees and getting points for that then? Well, whatever. Destroy it all with your endless rage. On
They
it.
planted those trees. So I found a game here called Antambassador, which I think I've actually seen before. Ah, they fly now?
There's our fucking fire breath. And gusts of wind from our wings that destroy the things underneath us.
Very clear square patterns.
Very convenient for us.
So in this game, you are a human who has come on a peace mission to the kingdom of ants. And you play as the human, but your avatar, you're just like an arm reaching down to the ground, and your index finger has like a little happy face painted on it, and is wearing like a ring that looks like a top hat. And you just like kind of move your finger around like it was walking, but you just kind of destroy everything in your path because you're a human dragging your hand across like a little ant kingdom.
That's interesting. I guess that, is the ultimate...
It's also
Conclusion of
free.
the God game, yeah. By the way, we can ascend and descend with L2 and R2. So, if you wanted to go all the way up here, you sure could.
Yeah. For air buildings.
For the floating fortress. God, I wonder how thorough they expect us to be on this one. Is that a UFO? No, it's just a helicopter. Don't mind me. Totally forgot. Oh, I gotta turn around to face it, though. Here we go. I love the little color trails on the missile trails coming at us. Very festive.
Guide missiles.
For when we have to defend the city, but, we want to be a little festive about it, too.
Once Pride Month ends, though, those missiles going right back to just, like, the gray trails.
Halliburton's going straight back to...
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna keep charging forward. Our health is so low, though. I think it's only the tall buildings that restore our health to any significant margin, so we gotta really seek out the taller ones.
The Pro Striker brings up a good point. Are we calling our guy Crusher?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Crusher crossed the Pacific, but didn't stop at the West Coast. Just went straight from Japan to New York.
Yeah.
See, that's why I was thinking that was the Eiffel Tower. But we didn't get, like, an update to our position until New York, so...
We didn't see an FMV cutscene where some, like, mime on the street looks up and sees Crusher coming in to signify that we are, in fact, in Paris. And then we did destroy the National Diet building, so, you know. Oh, that looks like a good building to destroy. Yeah, there we go. Let's try some Flame Breath, mix things up a little bit.
I've always meant to look up, and I will use the fact that we have several people watching us now to push that responsibility off of me. But why it's called the National Diet?
The Diet, you know, I think. I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced.
Oh, what does that mean?
Just government building, I'm sure. Politics, I'm sure it's some political term or something along those lines. Don't ask me.
Yeah, that's why
Someone
I'm
else
asking.
will, yeah.
That's why I'm asking the people in chat.
This is a pretty good stage. Game's back in my good graces again. I mean, this is a tough one, but it's fair. The destruction is satisfying. That's all you can ask for.
A diet is a formal, deliberative assembly. Okay.
Good variety of buildings here. There's some in particular I'm looking for here. I don't remember if they're in this stage or if they're just like scattered buildings in the stage, or if there's like a specific stage where you destroy.
You looking for like some important buildings?
Yeah, a pair of them.
Some landmark. Oh. Oh.
I mean, yeah, that's in the game. Like, I'm not doing just like to make like a joke.
Yeah,
It's
well,
like,
don't try not to sound like you're looking forward to it that much. Is that Empire State right there?
Let's pretend it is.
Okay.
You bloodthirsty monster.
I'm asking.
Big ass stage though. We've been going in this one direction.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
You've reached the end.
You know what? I think I see stuff in the distance. That must be... Yeah, over there. So next stage, perhaps. In the meantime, I'm just going to fly towards the camera. Breathing fire all the while. Dodging missiles and fighter jets where I can. At least our health is okay now. What are your impressions of this game so far? I know we talk about games that you watch me play and you feel like playing yourself. Do you feel like this one is just live vicariously?
Yeah, this is not... This game needs to trim the fat, I think.
I don't know, I still stand by it. It's still a short game, like all things told. I mean, this is like, we're near the end. So, I mean, like, ultimately, like, you know, it's driving its value from, like, some of the stages feel too long, to be sure. Like, it's done better with more variety, more stages, shorter stages. Like, to be sure, but,
So there's a principle I have in terms of, like, how much I enjoy a video game. And that's basically, yeah, I get it. Where I feel like if I'm playing a thing and, like, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. Next thing, please. Like, something kind of didn't go right in the process. You know, not every game is perfect, but like Katamari, even though it's like kind of the same thing over and over again, I never really get that feeling of like, yeah, I get it. I still feel engaged with it. This, even just looking at it, like, and how long some of these later stages go, yeah, it's like overstaying its welcome, like, per stage. Like, early on, that would, like, the shorter, snappier stages, like, that felt just right for this. Yeah, I feel like if the whole game was just as short, but the levels were also remain short, it would be something I'd be more interested in playing.
Johnny Baggett says, I'm curious if a single shorter tower is in this game, one that someone bragged was the biggest one post 9/11. Yeah, what you're referencing is Donald Trump saying that, you know, after the, you know, World Trade Center, that his tower was now the tallest, with a point of pride, with a beam and a smile on his face. I don't know what happened to those towers. But now mine's the biggest. Or however that fucking wonderful moment went.
Who's the mayor up there right now? Eric Adams, is that his name?
I think you're correct.
Didn't he say something recently?
He's always
where he
saying
was
shit.
Yes, from what I understand. Did he say something recently? He was like bragging about how great New York is because, like, you never know what might happen. 9/11.
Oh yeah, that's right. He totally did fucking say that. I don't think he said specifically 9/11, but I think he alluded to it in some sort of weird way.
Like, you never know what could happen. 9/11, giant dragon flies over the city. New York, baby.
Big Apple, take a bite. 8 minutes on that stage, and only 33%, 34% destroyed. Let's see what's next.
Pizza Rat. Johnny Baghead pointed out.
National Monument, the Pizza Rat. Pizza Rat should have a statue. Well, I think I see our target. Have you guessed what the final boss of this game is going to be yet, by the way?
Yes, I have, because you showed it to me.
Oh, yeah, well. Then don't spoil it, I guess.
Okay.
My bad for that one. I should have kept you blind on this.
You were so excited to show off.
I can't help myself
all the
sometimes.
stuff in this game, yeah.
Like, you know, for all the complaints and for as you know, as brutal as parts of this have been getting through, like I'm still relatively high on this game.
Oh, I can see why you would be. Like, I mean, you asked me like, would I want to play this? I'm gonna be like, no, but like, I can see why you like it, and I get its charm.
There we go.
I would like to see, like I said, there's plenty of kaiju games out there, a lot I don't know about, but I would like to see that one that is explicitly trying to do this, but like, you know, better.
I forget how many stages there are exactly in this game. I think it's like 21.
Gotta save that game.
I think I do actually need to save this game because I need to... yeah, I don't have to do this every time. See, like, let me keep the name. You can see the updated save icon. It's because there is a stage. When we're on the final stage where we decide the ending, I need a save, yeah. I need a hard save there. Or a quick save, you know, either or will work.
Yeah, I figure you're probably quick save. Faster.
Oh, another long stage. Another proper destroy everything stage. You can tell by how slowly meter's building. At least it was a little more narrow. We could probably
Louis says these flying sections seem like they're more fun than the previous ones.
Yeah, this is breezier without having to worry about, like, getting stuck on stuff as much, having that verticality. And, you know, it's also easier to deal with the enemies, too. And, you know, these attacks have some amount of range to them, at least, too, which definitely helps. Would have helped to have them on previous stages.
Now, it's hard to see them. On ground level, there are very tiny policemen that are not being destroyed right now.
Oh, well, shit. Take it all back. This stage actually isn't going to be that long. Video Game King saying, check out the refresh rate on the minimap. It doesn't need to update in real time. It doesn't need to be one-to-one with the actual gameplay. You're allowed to, like, do elements like that at a lower frame rate. You shouldn't be looking at it, like, in the way that, you know, people complain about, like, you play modern games by just looking at the minimap and not at the actual game. You know.
Now that they pointed out, I think it's fun to look at the refresh rate.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Very cheery music.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're having fun.
For this level.
We're freeing ourselves.
That's the moral of the game.
Like, so clearly, like, you know, this to decode a little bit of the message, you know, the conclusion's really gonna tie it up, but this game is about, you know, selfishness. That's what it's ultimately about, is that, you know, we exist in systems, you know, a salaryman especially. It's really a commentary on salaryman, like, you know, and the stress that builds up in their lives. If I'm trying to, like, assign, like, a specific motivation to it, it is, like, You know, yeah, of course they want to break free. Of course they want to just, like, rage out and destroy shit sometimes. Of course we all have that urge to just, like, break shit, as Fred Durst so eloquently put it. But, like,
we all have our little invisible bugs.
But, you know, ultimately, like, you know, what does that freedom come at the cost of? Freedom for us is, you know, death and destruction to untold millions as we rampage through New York City here. You know, like, if we were to just give in to those inhibitions, you know, like, we are a villain. Like, we're not the hero of this story, you know, in case it wasn't obvious. Like, it's not cool that we're doing this. I mean, it's cool.
Now,
but, you know,
I do know people who would look at this game and go, "It is very cool that you're doing this." So
yes, but you get my point that, you know, it's destructive, and, you know, keep it to the video games is what they're basically trying to say with this. And you know, the endings are really going to codify and really, like, you know, lock that in. And I think there's also a generational aspect to it too. You have to consider, you know, if they're making this game with, like, Japanese salarymen and the like in mind, there's just always going to be, like, that angle of, like, you know, passing stuff down to your children. And in this game, like, you know, it had, like, the stuff with the baby is going to come into play. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, that's the final boss, the baby.
We'll see. But, you know, it's ultimately saying, like, you know, someone who would indulge in this kind of destruction, you know, what model is that leaving for their kids? Sins of the father and so forth. I think we're approaching the end of this stage at the very least.
I know a lot of people who are. I know a lot of people who are like, burn it down.
Well, speaking of, dragon fuel can't melt steel beams, etc. Whatever. Get out of your system now in chat. I mean, it's fucking unavoidable. I mean, like, we had to destroy the Twin Towers in this game. Like, what do you want me to do?
Oh, it looks like my gym class is getting interrupted.
Oh, God.
That's how it happened for me.
We gotta be getting closer to the actual end of the stage, though, and towards the final objective. The culmination of our quest for freedom. And I wonder if they'll spoil it on the horizon.
Oh no, Dana Carey. What is he thinking right now?
This is a strange part of the stage. Huh?
Yeah, fuck it up. Fuck you, France.
Ready for the final boss?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually not this stage specifically. I think it's one of the next stages, but yeah, for anyone who guessed, and I think someone did guess in chat.
Yep. Frank Gothic said, "Is the final boss the animated Statue of Liberty like Ghostbusters 2?"
Got it in one.
Ah, vous êtes arrivé enfin, méchant homme. Je savais que vous viendrez me détruire et je t'attendais. Mais est-ce que vous pensez
She's speaking in French.
me détruire?
Freedom Lady. I knew you were behind this.
So congrats to you, Frank Gothic, for getting it in one. Alright, there we go. That's doing damage. I think this is ultimately the way to do it.
What do they call the Statue of Liberty in Japan? The Goddess of Freedom or something like that?
That sounds about right.
Like, something Megumi.
Well, all I can tell you is that she ain't gonna be around much longer.
You are building the Deus Ex canon right now. Definitely stole that from Luis, so.
Now I am free. Let me do a second hard save.
Better.
To get your freedom for all of it, you need to destroy the avatar of it. That's the thing, yeah. We're destroying the symbol of freedom. So that's literally very on the nose in saying that, you know, in the pursuit of our freedom, we are denying freedom to others. We are destroying the ability for other people to pursue their freedom.
quoi avec toute cette destruction?
Much to
We've been
ponder, much to think about.
We've been sent to the freedom dimension for this final battle.
Very scenic, cool stage for this. We don't have our fire breath anymore, though. Now it's just back to melee. It's back to this form.
More games should have the Statue of Liberty as a boss.
Goddamn right.
Like what? There's this, there's Zombie Nation, right?
So not the most intense, not the most difficult boss fight necessarily.
Oh, are you going to want to drop a save?
I already dropped the hard save in front of this.
Oh, okay.
Actually, you know what? This is kind of something hard in the sense that I fucked it up.
Oh. Where? Baby cry?
Well, let's try this again. Let's see what I can do to preserve a little bit more of my health, maybe, or restore health in this stage.
Video Game King says Shin Megami Tensei If has the Statue of Liberty as the final boss. Really? I didn't remember that.
Maybe the stomp is most effective.
So is this fight just like a race, a DPS race?
It might be. Or maybe we need to avoid the tornadoes. Maybe I need to do a better job of that. There's no destruction meter, though. So we have a choice here. What should we do? This coward, the Statue of Liberty, using our baby as a shield. You know what?
Yeah.
How dare you?
True final boss is the baby. I knew he was behind this. You're gonna die. Does it not count if you die during the ending?
Probably not.
You're gonna need to rewind.
Oh no, we actually accidentally got the. Oh no, we got it. We got the right ending. Okay.
Okay. You know, as Michael Jordan once said. Good. Oh, hell yeah. Sick-ass baby.
Finally, a cool baby.
And that's the good ending. You get a cool baby.
So that was one ending. That was obviously the bad ending. Where, upon destroying the avatar of our child, destroying the avatar of freedom and the Statue of Liberty, we embraced our own selfishness.
What you're saying is this game is anti-American.
No, I wouldn't stretch that far. But, you know, that was a run. That was a playthrough. We're going to go back for the second ending in just a minute, but this is a good time to... Also, I'm liking this FMV of just people throwing plates for effect. People venting their frustrations as they do. The developers of the game, presumably, just decided to have a field day outside and smash up some fucking plates, which is a fun thing to do. I mean, I would do this, just for kicks. I would just smash a bunch of plates. I've thrown TVs out of second-story buildings. Not at anyone in particular, but, you know, things I did in my teenage years.
Just that whoever might have been outside, you know. No judgment. Just...
But, you know.
They all deserve it.
Nelson JD saying, budget, question mark, plus these plates. Pro Striker 92 saying, making this game was stressful. Yeah, they had to relieve it somehow. But, yeah, hot damn. That's certainly a final boss fight, isn't it?
Yeah.
This
Like
game
I said, more
goes
games need
places.
more games need a Statue of Liberty boss fight.
There's certainly a progression to this game. It does escalate, and does
don't
so
you-
a little drawn out. I would like a quicker escalation, maybe more forms in between, more different forms. But asking them to add variety isn't always as easy as it sounds. It's very easy for us to sit here in our armchairs and say, add more attacks, add more monsters, add more locations to go to. But it's not always that simple. In fact, it's very rarely that simple, as it turns out. But at the same time, like, this game definitely needed it. There is definitely a need for... Oh, you go ahead, though.
Chat's popping for the cups that are getting thrown in now.
Yeah! Mix it up. That one plate didn't get broken at all. It went in the center.
No, you can tell they're gonna try and break it now.
God willing.
They're aiming for it.
Overkill syndrome
I also
asks,
just remembered that...
Oh, you go ahead.
Oh, well, yeah, they ask, is there a list of games where you fight the Statue of Liberty? And I just remembered the ending of that new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge. I'm pretty sure one of the final bosses is the Statue of Liberty.
I believe.
But I don't know if there's a list.
I think Giant Bomb would have a list of like Statue of Liberty as like a concept, and you might be able to like use that to figure out. It's saying my OBS crashed, by the way, but we're still streaming, right? Is Autoduck still working?
Let's see. I see. Well, I'll give it time for the stream to. It's still streaming out right here, but we're still streaming. I don't know about Autoduck.
I'm gonna assume that we're fine, and just hopefully I'll find a way to get to the closing screen after we get our final playthrough, or after we get the second ending here. App Communications, Disc Garage, Densu. No mention of that other developer, of that other credited developer. Oh, look at that beautiful. That's a piece of art right there.
Now let's fix it.
So, they clearly had some sort of ambition for this, you know? They thought they were really saying something with this game. God bless them.
Paged by Mr. Nobody. Art. You couldn't read the last part.
Arcane Aria, which was Snowy Aria's old username. Alright, let's go ahead and load this save. No New Game Plus, nothing of that sort. Okay. So the difference we're going to make here is that when the baby appears, we're just going to let our meter run out. That is the decision that you make. Oop.
Oh, I didn't comment on it that you changed forms.
Let's rewind. Yeah, we
Again,
reverted
like
a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess they wanted to make this boss fight. This one that has actual attacks and, like, counter attacks and whatnot. One that you have to do on foot. This wouldn't make as much sense to do in the air, I suppose. I think it really is just dodging the tornadoes. You can't do anything about the meteors. Okay, I think we're in primo position. I think a few more stomps should get them down to their last phase. All right. Game pauses to do this.
What is that voice saying?
Kawase.
What does that mean?
I don't know offhand, but you know what? Let's decide, let's not kill the baby. Kawase means destroy. Yep. Alright. Now let's get
Well,
the
now
good
we
ending.
have to live. Now we have to live under the tyrannical rule of baby. So I hope you're happy. Let me try it again.
可愛い男の子ですよ。
I love baby. don't destroy. Now you started
Well,
the
I've
cycle
undone
over
all
again.
that work.
Yeah. You should have found a peaceful solution. Son, you too will be a dragon someday.
God willing. And that's the good ending. Same credits roll. And you know what? Can I hit my victory? Is OBS still functional for me to?
Oh.
Oh, whoops! OBS is crashed. Let me see what happens. Well, that certainly crashed OBS. But as long as we're here, I'll splice it together. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But black flag on the last lap there, huh? Well, without further ado, let me hit my fucking screen. It's not a Bad Game Hall of Fame stream unless something goes horribly, horribly wrong. But yeah, I think we kind of went through all the suggestions that we would make, all the changes that we would potentially make, given the opportunity to. I still think there's merit. I still think it's worth playing to some extent. Maybe play it on easy. I don't know how much change the difficulty actually makes. I don't know how much of a difference it actually makes in that sense, but maybe they give you more energy. Maybe stuff does less damage to you. Who's to say? For everyone who's just rejoining, everyone is hopefully refreshing their page and joining in on us for our final thoughts on this. We've already played the year winner screen, so it is over. That was the second ending. Yeah, more games like this that are just like weirdly risky, you know, or not even like risky, I guess, that, you know, I would love to see more weirdo companies getting back into game development as a lark, you know, which isn't going to happen nowadays, especially with the industry collapsing under its own weight right now.
Games that aren't meant to be super marketable, but just are like, you know, fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a beauty. The fact that this exists is wonderful. It is beautiful. And the product is uneven as it is. You know, sure, a more talented team of developers put into their hands. You tell it's like a more seasoned team that's done more games, that has more under their belt, has clearer vision for it, might do a more competent job. But then you have to wonder if they would lose some of the heart of it. You know? If they would have that same message
what
in
I'm
it.
doing. Can you see?
If they would have the same creative ambition behind it. I guess that's like the sort of thing I'm thinking about here, is that, you know, the more seasoned you get, the more disenfranchised you get with this industry, is something that I observe. Not a crazy observation to say that, I don't think. But, you know, that there is a magic that comes from people who are, like, it's like outsider art, you know? Mm-hmm. That people who are not, like, domain experts on, like, development, or producing music in that case, that they can bring something to the table. They can bring that creative edge. Would a studio that like was well established, that is like worried about, like, you know, the quarterlies or whatnot, have had the idea for this game and execute on it with the same vigor and gusto and charm? Who's to say? I'm sure some studio out there could. It's not to say that, you know, the industry system is completely without merit. It's just to say that games like this don't get made as much anymore, to be sure. I think if you do it nowadays, it would be a physics showcase. The whole thing.
Which could be fun still.
Sure.
You know, wasn't Platinum working on an Ultraman game?
Possibly. Probably. I wouldn't know anything
about it.
Or maybe not
Ultraman-like, but... Oh, you remember... God, wait, hands down. You remember there was a Disaster Report game that was like Ultraman? And you were
vaguely.
just like... And you had to just, like, be a person who had to deal with the fact that there was kaiju fights happening.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it did not come out in America. Surprising.
Well, we're just looping the intro now, by the way, so I'm just gonna tune out of that and go to our epilogue screen. Lady Liberty herself. Yeah, hopefully folk enjoyed that. Sorry for that little technical difficulty at the end there. I'm sure the stream archive for YouTube will just have that stuff stitched together. It's annoying that it's going to be on 2 parts on Twitch, but nothing you can do with Twitch. Nothing you can do about that. So thank you to folk for sticking through it. I know there were some rough levels too, but that's the thing with bad games. They're not always exciting minute to minute. You know, an uneven game is going to have uneven sections. It's going to have some parts that are a little less exciting, a little less intuitive than others. That's kind of the nature of the beast. But you have to learn to appreciate things on the whole, to look past those parts that are a little rougher, look at the big picture, and I think I can look past this game and its flaws, its faults, and recognize that it was doing something creative, it was doing something ambitious. They had a vision, they had some sort of moral they wanted to get across, which is wild. Even a moral is as simple as maybe don't destroy stuff, maybe don't destroy entire cities, maybe don't level entire population centers. You know, maybe someone needed to hear that, you know? But, yeah, that was Hakaiou, King of Crusher. Thank you, Fab Communication. Thank you, Charkie, for joining me on this one.
No problem.
Huh?
Well, I was gonna kind of talk about Limbo of the Lost.
Oh, yes.
Which we were originally going to do that today, and we are still going to do it. It's been delayed twice now, but man, as it turns out, there's a lot of shit about that game. There is quite a story, and we are busy like compiling everything together.
Yeah.
Like, we want to do this one right.
That is one that needs, like, it's going to have another one of those drawn out intros, but also it's going to be like us having facts that we can pull up during the episodes. Because we found some sources, we found some resources, some stories that have not been told about that game. Not in any.
If you saw that Mandalore gaming video and you thought you knew everything, man, there's a lot to learn.
You do not know the half of it, really. So we really want to do that one right. We're going to make every effort to make that one a banger of a playthrough of a Let's Play. So please look forward to that starting next week. I'm sure we'll do something for Saturday as well. We'll do we did a theme night again. It's good to do the theme nights, but maybe we'll just do like a fight night or a chance time or something along those lines. I don't know if I'm fully ready to pull the trigger yet on launching a new long form month-to-month series like the Simple Euro Trip. I think we need to workshop a little more before we do commit to one of those. But there's still going to be a Saturday show. Ultimately, it'll be something with some amount of variety in it, as our Saturday shows generally are. And then as far as Tuesday, I don't know. We'll find some other game to start a long play of or something, or one that could be one and done. Again, we'll decide. Maybe consider joining the Discord. Consider giving your feedback, giving your input, giving us some ideas. If you happen to be one of our subscribers, or Patreon supporters, or Discord boosters, you'll have access to the Patreon Saints channel, wherein you can directly give that sort of feedback, participate in polls for when we put stream options up to poll. So please to join there and consider giving us that sort of feedback, helping steer the direction of the channel, letting us know what you want it to be. What do we want it to be? We don't know. It's up to you, ultimately, the audience to decide.
We're also doing our bad game of the month thing. We want to kind of get on that.
Oh, yes. We should mention this. I don't know if we mentioned this on stream before. We have a thing that we're trying to focus on, a thing that we want to encourage in the community is a bad game club, which is like a bad book club, or like a book club generally, where we'll pick a game every month that people are encouraged to play for themselves, and then we come together and share our opinions.
And you don't have to be like a Patreon subscriber or a Twitch subscriber or anything for this. It's just if you're in the server and you want to participate. And I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to start polling people tonight on what we want to do for this month. We're going to start on the 15th instead of like starting on the 1st. But the choices are going to be, does everyone want to play Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex? Or does everyone want to play Thief, the soft reboot that came out like in 2014?
The fourth.
The fourth, yes.
Thief in Leet speak. So yeah, we'll put up some sort of polling. Charkie will help get that going. up and running, and then people can vote on that and determine what y'all want to play. We're always cooking something here on this Bad Game Hall of Fame in that game room Discord. So thank you again to our community for continuing to grow, continuing to fill that place out. It's been wild seeing folks showing up in there every night, and the amount of messages we get every day. Lets us know that we're on a right track of sorts. That this thing is clearly fostering some sort of community, some sort of audience, that we're doing something right? But before we sign off, let's see if anyone else is streaming at the moment. Sebmal is playing Phantasy Star Online. I can't say no to that. I do love me a PSO. So we'll send some viewers Sebmal's way. And that will do it for us here at the Bad Game Hall of Fame. I've been Cass.
Not Charkie.
Thanks again to everyone for destroying with us, for unleashing our inner rage collectively. And all that's left to say is, bye!
Good night, everybody.